The Trilateral Commission, Global Management, or Global Manipulation. The Shadow Cast by the Trilateral Commission. Formed in 1973 at the height of Cold War tensions and amid a surge of international economic uncertainty, the Trilateral Commission has long loomed as a specter of elite coordination, whispered about in the corridors of conspiracy and observed closely by scholars of global governance. While its public mission proclaims peaceful cooperation between North America, Europe, and Asia, its origin, membership, secrecy, and consistent alignment with globalist ideals raise urgent concerns, especially for Bible-believing Christians who discern prophetic patterns and spiritual battle lines behind political facades. The founders? Who created the Trilateral Commission? David Rockefeller, a scion of the American banking dynasty and longtime chairman of Chase Manhattan Bank, founded the Trilateral Commission. The idea was co-developed with Zbigniew Brzezinski, a Polish-American political scientist who later served as National Security Advisor under President Jimmy Carter. David Rockefeller was educated at Harvard, B.A. 1936, the London School of Economics, and earned a Ph.D. from the University of Chicago. He was heavily involved in the Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, and an open advocate for global governance. Zbigniew Brzezinski, Harvard-educated and profoundly influential in shaping U.S. foreign policy, was known for his anti-Soviet stance and his belief in managed globalism, affiliations, secret societies, and networks of power. Was David Rockefeller a Freemason or a member of Skull and Bones? Though there is no public admission or documentation directly linking Rockefeller to Skull and Bones or Freemasonry, his affiliations raise concern. Council on Foreign Relations, CFR. Rockefeller was a longtime member and financier. Bilderberg Group. He regularly attended and influenced the agendas of these annual private meetings of global elites. Bohemian Grove. While less confirmed, multiple reports place Rockefeller and Trilateral members in attendance. Zbigniew Brzezinski was not formally a member of Skull and Bones, but he was closely associated with global think tanks and academic institutions, including Columbia and Harvard, that were aligned with internationalist goals. Many early North American members of the Trilateral Commission were also Rhodes Scholars, members of the CFR, and connected to global banking institutions, hinting at a cross-pollinated elite. The founding document. Blueprint for Global Governance. Brzezinski's 1970 book Between Two Ages, America's Role in the Technotronic Era, which served as the intellectual blueprint for the Trilateral Commission, can be traced as the ideological foundation of the Commission. In it, Brzezinski argued, the nation-state, as a fundamental unit of man's organized life, has ceased to be the principal creative force. International banks and multinational corporations are acting and planning in terms that are far in advance of the political concepts of the nation-state. This became a rallying cry for post-sovereign governance, a hallmark of the globalist vision. This foundational belief contradicts the biblical view of nations and borders as divinely ordained, Acts 17:26. And he has made from one blood every nation of men to dwell on all the face of the earth, and has determined their pre-appointed times and the boundaries of their dwellings. Political and religious views. Technocratic utopianism. The Trilateral Commission's worldview is profoundly secular, technocratic, and utilitarian. It denies divine providence and elevates scientific management, economic interdependence, and cultural homogenization as tools for global peace, ironically producing greater division, economic slavery, and spiritual emptiness. David Rockefeller once said in his memoirs, 2002, "Some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists. If that's the charge, I stand guilty, and I am proud of it." This quote is both a confession and a boast. It aligns with Psalm 2, which warns, "The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed." Psalm 2:2. Brzezinski, in Between Two Ages, wrote, "In the technotronic society, the trend seems to be toward the aggregation of the individual support of millions of uncoordinated citizens, easily within the reach of magnetic and attractive personalities, exploiting the latest communications techniques to manipulate emotions and control reason. This chilling quote resembles Revelation 13, which warns of a system in which no one can buy or sell without the mark. Could this be part of a technocratic system controlled by elites? Biblical warnings. Against the Trilateral Vision. The Trilateral Commission represents the modern-day Tower of Babel, where man again seeks to unify himself under a godless vision, rejecting the Creator's design for distinct nations, moral order, and spiritual truth. Genesis 11:6 warns, "And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do." The Trilateral Vision is not progress but prophetic regression into the same rebellion that once provoked God's judgment. Notable members and influence. Early members included Jimmy Carter, former U.S. President, who appointed multiple Trilateral Commission members to his administration, including Brzezinski and Paul Volcker. Henry Kissinger, a key globalist strategist, though not an official founder, shared many trilateral values and was closely affiliated through the CFR and Bilderberg. These members shaped economic, foreign, and energy policy in ways that elevated international institutions over national interests. A spiritual war disguised as policy. The Trilateral Commission is not merely a political think tank. It is an ideological weapon, one aimed at subverting national sovereignty, Christian values, and constitutional liberty. Its quiet power lies in bureaucracy, secrecy, and elite consensus rather than bullets. But the danger is no less real. Believers must reject the seductive appeal of global utopianism and hold fast to the truth that only Christ, not the Commission, can bring unity and peace. Isaiah 9:6-7 reminds us who the true governor is. For unto us a child is born, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. If this article has informed or blessed you, consider subscribing and sharing. The battle is not just political but spiritual, and the truth must be told.